Hi, welcome back to Coffee Talk, the show where I make coffee, drink coffee, and talk about mental health. The show, the series, whatever. Today's subject, pretty ironic because I messed it up from the get-go. Today's subject is what happens if you're not your best? What happens if you're not your best? What happens if you're not the best, but mostly what happens if you're not your own best? And as always, we start by making coffee. This coffee's been pretty average. There's been some extractions I've had with it that have been great. Like earlier I made 2 coffees. Mine was amazing. Reina's, not so much. Hers extracted better. Like the process was better for hers, but somehow flavor wasn't there in the right way versus mine. Flavor was there in the right way. It was delicious. And the extraction was a bit more messy. So just whatever. Eventually I'll just go back to the brand we use, honestly. How dare I just try different things? Cool. Okay, so why do I want to talk about this? Well, actually it's because I talked about it in therapy this week. These videos always come from me. They always come from my experience, where I'm currently at, or what I currently am figuring out in my brain, right? So I share it with you. What I was talking about in therapy is how I feel like in life, my whole life, I've always had to give 200% to just be equal to people's 100, to other people's 100%. I always had to. I never felt valued, never felt loved or accepted, or seen as good unless I did everything. It comes from like people pleasing. Well, it comes from trauma, but it comes with my people pleasing, my self-sacrificing, my wanting to be a hero. And believe it or not, even this is technically that. I'm wanting to be a hero by sharing things so that maybe I help you. So there's a conflicting part to this thing I'm doing already, because I know it comes from all this wanting to help, to have a reason or a value to why I'm alive. To almost be told I'm allowed to be alive because I have served. When in reality, we're all allowed to be alive because we're all allowed to be alive. We just came to life, that's it. And that's all you need to be allowed to. Crazy. But yeah, it comes from a history of when I was a kid, with everything that was going on in my life and the family dynamics that we had. Well, from the beginning, I had to be the therapist in the house. And when I mean that, I was the youngest kid in a family with 5 kids, 3 step-siblings, sister, me, and the 2 parents, my mom, my stepdad. And I was the youngest. And I quickly found that with everybody else's problems, the way I was useful was fixing them for them. They all had a lot of problems. A lot of problems. I grew up with a lot of chaos. And I quickly found that if I was the hero, I was seen as important or seen as valued, seen as useful. Useful is probably the word here. So I quickly made that my whole personality. See, I got a bit of a messy extraction again, which in this case might be a good sign. Might not be a good sign. Well, we'll see when I'm there. I quickly realized I had to be the hero in order to be valued in that family. Everybody else was demanding so much attention by having problems that my way, if not having problems, to get attention was to fix the problems. Be so useful that maybe I deserve to be part of that family, that maybe I deserve to be there. It helps to know that I was 5 years younger than my sister and everybody else was 8, 10, and 11 years older than me. So of course, I wasn't gonna fit in. I wasn't gonna be seen as the same level of useful or person you go to. That's where I ended up overdoing it by wanting to be the hero. And by being helpful to them, then maybe I was making up for that gap. Maybe I wasn't just a stupid kid to them. If I was useful. I know how to fix this thing you just broke. I know how to fix your heart. I know how to talk to you so that you feel better about your heartbreak. I know how to talk to you so you feel better about whatever you're going through. How to talk to my mom so that she feels better about the chaos brought on by the rest of the family. And I'm using my family as an example, but there was so much more than just the immediate situation I had. It's just a good example. Let's try this coffee. Oh, it doesn't, okay. With the water, it smells a bit better. Oh, it's pretty good actually, never mind. That's good. Damn, that's like fucking good. That's what's so weird, holy shit. It's fucking good. Okay, sorry about that. This was one of the situations where being useful, being the best was needed. I needed to be top of my game just to fit in, just to be okay. And that meant as a kid, I had to learn adult problems, like relationships, but also like literally actual adult problems, drugs, fucking crimes. I didn't grow up in the best situations, let's just say. Prison, going to juvie, being taken away from your parents. Not me, never. My sister and I. Good, just so we're clear. All that made me need to catch up much faster. So I had to learn way more things than I should have at the age that I was, just in order to fit in, just in order to be at everybody's zero, just in order to have some value, that I wasn't just the dumbest, youngest kid. I wasn't dumb. Another place where it's happened a lot in my life where I've not been valued. 1, relationships, for sure. Okay, I'm in one now, but I'm talking about my life experience, right? I was always, and that was a pattern in all relationships, and granted, I wasn't always great. I made my fair share of mistakes in relationships. I was always seen as how good I was after I was gone, after it was over. after we'd split, and then they'd go and suddenly they'd start doing all the things I was saying, hey, you could do this. This could be good for you. And then, I don't know, we'd run into each other, call again and be like, so what have you been up to? And they would say everything I've been saying. And I'd be like, cool, happy for you. And no fault to them. It comes from the fact that I grew up in that environment. And so I knew a lot of what not to do and what to do to get out of situations or to deal with situations, handle situations. And also I was learning everything about myself. You're not perfect all the time. Let's not fucking think I am, right? The whole point is, oh, I'm not the best. I'm not my best. Another place where that happens a lot is work. Every job I ever had always saw me as like, okay, or school even, same thing. They saw me as the okay student. I was okay. In reality, I was more than okay. I was always giving so much more than I should and never appreciated for it. All that goes to show, I think my whole life, I've been trying to get approval from people. I've been trying by giving 200% of me to just have proof that I'm worth everybody else's 100, that I maybe even out at the 0. And that obviously builds this message in my head that I'm not, that I have to give 200%. And even there, I won't get it. That I have to give 200% and somehow it won't be valued. I won't be seen as good. Somehow, with the experience I have, I am not treated with the value that I have. I'm used, I'm abused, and people think it's okay. They think it's okay to treat me the way they do. They think it's okay to show me that I have less value than others when I know my own value, but I didn't always. And that works on my mind. That becomes a problem. I was telling that to my therapist. There's a confusion that's happening, a dichotomy that's happening in my head. On one end, I know my own good. I know where I'm good. I know what I have going because, well, I've done a lot of self-work. So I know on one side, like, what my value is, how good I am, what I bring to the table, just like I know what the fuck I bring to the table. That's a shit show. But I know the good I bring. And then the world didn't show me that. That's where the confusion happens. From what the world tells me, I'm not as lovable as I think. From what the world tells me, I'm not as useful as I think. From what the world tells me, I'm not as needed as I think. Everyone could give less of a shit about me. In my whole experience, everyone saw me as actually, that's how it feels to me, right? Saw me as somehow just someone that slipped through the cracks and made his way in. And that's what I felt a lot. A lot of the good opportunities I've had, I've always felt like I somehow tricked everyone. I tricked them all into getting there. Even though I'm fucking doing great. I know what I'm doing, I know what I'm bringing, but the feeling I have is that I must have, because they don't see me as someone they're happy to have seen get in. They don't see me as someone they're cherishing in there. They just see me as someone who's like, hey, we don't need him. Let's either get rid of him or let's treat him like shit until he leaves. That's happened a lot in my life, and that's building this idea. I am bad, I'm not lovable, I'm not good. I must suck at everything, I must have nothing going. And my therapist doesn't agree with all that. Neither do I to some degree. That's the whole point. I'm working on it. But in my head, if I wasn't the best, that's all I was. But that's a black and white thinking. And the world isn't black or white. There's a lot of grays. So in reality, not being the best, whatever that fucking best is, not being confirmed the best by everybody else, not being seen and stated as the best, or not even the best, as one of the best. Not having that, sure, I don't have the best. What happens if you're not your best? You're okay. As long as you're not your bad, you're okay. You're okay. If you're getting by, you're okay. If you're doing the things that you know you can do, you're okay. If you're handling the situations how you know you can handle the situations, you're okay. If you're working and bringing to your work what you feel you can bring and want to bring, you're okay. Same for relationships, same for everything you do. If you show up with what you know you have, maybe a little more even, you're okay. You're good. Don't have to be the best. You don't have to be your best. And your best is never gonna get confirmed. And I'm saying that to myself because my best is never gonna get confirmed. I'm always gonna have instead the opposite. Proof that I'm not my best, that I'm not among the best, that I'm not anywhere near them, and that I would have to work 400% to just be seen as slipped through the cracks and got in, and well, I guess he's okay. So what happens if you're not your best? You're okay? You observe yourself. That's where the dichotomy needs to happen, because unless you can see your own good, then what they think is gonna be what you think. Unless you yourself state where you're at and what you're doing and the value that you have, you'll listen to everybody else's idea of your value. And everybody else's idea of your value is never what it actually is. Even when they look up to you, both ways. No one's idea of you is you, because, well, it's the idea they have from their own biases, from their own experience, knowledge, from their own whatever feelings they have towards you. But they're not you. They don't have your whole life. You know if you're good or bad. And you know if you're okay. You know if you're your best. You know if you're at your fucking best. There's times in my life where I've gone, shit, I am currently at my peak. Great. There's always a higher peak, but I am peak performance for what I know right now, for what I have right now. And the longer you listen to the outside proof, the longer it'll be until you realize that you are your best. Because if you do everything that you know you can do, you're your best. The only step beyond that is you're perfect, and that doesn't exist. That doesn't exist. If you try to seek that, you're just gonna run yourself into the ground. You're gonna drag yourself down until you have nothing, no life left, because perfect doesn't exist. I dare you to find one perfect thing out there that doesn't have a flaw, it doesn't have a downside. It doesn't exist. This universe doesn't have perfect. I guess maybe the universe is perfect. perfect? There could be a discussion there. But I think too, the other side of that, when you understand you're not trying to be your perfect, your best actually includes the messy. Your best includes the chaotic. Your best includes the, sorry, I say chaotic because chaotic is a very fitting word for me, but your best includes the whole mess. Your best includes the mistakes. Your best includes the letdowns. It includes the bad moments that didn't work out. That's actually your best because you see them as what they are. Someone that accepts their vulnerabilities is much closer to their best. It's one thing to make the mistake. It's another thing to observe it and go, I know it's a mistake. I know better now. Good. And I know this mistake and I'm not afraid of it. I will say it. I'll own it as something that I did, as something that I was. That's being your best. But if you pay attention to anybody else's perspective, you'll never be your best. Or maybe one day they fool you, you know? Maybe one day they actually see you as best of whatever. I bet you one thing, when they do see you as the best, you're still gonna see plenty of flaws in yourself. You're not gonna agree with them. You're gonna be like, no, there's so much I have to do and work on. So you'll never be your best depending on their answer. And being okay is your best. Giving everything you got when you can is your best. Not giving when you can't give is your best. Not letting people treat you like shit is more important than that. Part of your best is having your own back. If you're waiting for someone else's input, if you're believing, hey, the way this job treats me, the way this job rewards me in comparison to others is a statement of how shittier they think I am than the others, clearly. The longer you think that, the more you're damaging yourself on a perspective that's not true. Are you doing good? Are you giving it what you got? Your goal is not to be the best, not the best, your best. That doesn't have to be number one. Not only does it not have to, who the fuck cares? I'm an actor. Do I think I'll ever be the best ever? Fuck no. No. I'm a content creator. Do I think I'm ever gonna be part of the best? No. I'm a dog owner. Do I think I'm gonna be the best dog owner ever? No. I make plenty of fucking mistakes in everything. So that's all part of not being your best, but that's okay. You gotta give yourself grace, give yourself time, and just observe, hey, do I do good? Am I doing good? Good. That's good. I don't need more. Am I happy with the value that I see in what I am? The value that I see in what I do? Not from other perspectives, from you. And then if you're not, let's address that. If you aren't what you think your best is, well, first of all, once again, try to consider, are you actually thinking about perfect? Because that's not fair to you, because it's impossible. So having those standards for yourself is shit, it's bad. You're just doing that. And hell, you want to be the best person so much. The best person wouldn't treat you like that, right? Shit. But if you do see things that aren't the best, then allow yourself time. Okay, when can I get to that? When can I fix that? When can I work on that? Can I do it right now? I'll do it right now. When's the closest time I can do it? If I can't do it right now I'm in a situation and I have to wait, I'll wait. But I'll keep in mind that second that situation's passed, I'm locked in, I'm focused. I'm gonna do this for me, to see my own value for me. The only person that has to see how great I am is me, because no one else ever will anyways. And the only person you need to please anyways is you. Not your family, not your bosses, not your friends, just you. Am I gonna go on still seeing that I'm not appreciated? Yes. But I'm also gonna see how much I appreciate myself, how far I got. Knowing the whole story of my journey, seeing how much I give to anything, how much I give to this thing, how much I give to this other thing. Knowing the whole story, I can always be proud. I can always know that I am my best anytime I try, that my best is flawed. And my best is also fucking amazing, and everything in between. And that no one will ever be like me, and I'll never be like anybody else. Because I wouldn't want to be. I like me. I like my best. If you consider your best and someone else's best, personally, I like my best, definitely. So I hope you got something out of that. I'm currently working on that, clearly. So I'm gonna go and keep working on this, find more things that I learned, find more things that I share, figure out the whole part of how this is also my people-pleasing kick in. Maybe one day when I fully figured out myself, I won't be allowed to do this, because it'll be like, haha, I figured it out. This was part of my fawning and people-pleasing. Anyways, if you want to hear me talk about more mental health stuff, well, you can go and click on this video right here and enjoy yourself. And if not, that's it for me. I hope you have a great day. I'm going to finish this coffee. And yeah, let's be our best, shittiest self and our shittiest best and everything in between. Still good. Okay, I'm shaky now.